Hey screen printers, this is Ryan from Ryonet, and this is not going to be your traditional screen print tutorial video. In fact, we're not going to talk about screen printing much at all. We're going to talk about the organization of your business, and we're going to give you 3 simple steps to organize your business. Now, these are the things that Ryanet's learned through our course of 10 years in business that can help you both personally get organized and for your business. So why even worry about it, right? Well, you've heard the term don't stress it. Well, we don't want you to lose it, don't waste your time, and then you won't stress it as much. I love this quote: for every minute of organization, an hour is earned. If you do things smart, you don't have to work as hard. So how many of you have lost paperwork or lost an art fire or had a computer crash or actually just get cluttered with emails that you don't know how to filter through, or you lose the transaction, or you lose important information and you spent hours looking for it? Well, we're going to give you 3 simple solutions to that. Now, the thing is actually taking these solutions and doing something with it. The quote that Dale Carnegie says here is, knowledge isn't power until it's applied. So you have to go do something with it. Solution number 1 is going to be sync it. Actually having all your stuff all the time backed up. We're going to talk about Google Drive and Dropbox. Solution number 2 is organize it. How to get organized in your files with your email so everything is consistent. And solution number 3 is control it. How do you control your email? How can you control your files so it doesn't control your life? Let's jump into this and get started. First, let's talk about syncing it. Setting up yourself and your computer and your files so you don't have to worry about if you have a computer crash, and you don't have to worry about, in fact, how to get access to your files, because you can get access to them from anywhere in the world. There's 2 simple programs that I use for that. First is Dropbox. Dropbox is a great program to use if you're actually dealing with a lot of files and you have a lot of files like artwork files, traditional files such as Excel files. I think Dropbox is awesome. The second thing is Google Drive. They both work the same way. They're both a cloud client that can sync to yours and other people's computers as well. So you can share files with yourself. You can share files between your office, your home, your laptop. You and your wife can share a personal file. You can share files with your colleagues. You can share files with your clients. Very simple to use both these tools. And the thing I love about these tools is they constantly back up to the cloud and even to your other computers. So you always have access to your file. In fact, you even have access on your mobile devices by simply using the Dropbox or the Google Drive app. Super simple. They're not that expensive. They actually both have free versions, but I think I'm using the 200 gig Dropbox version. It's costing me about $200 a year for that. And I have plenty of space. I never need to worry about a backup. If anything happens to my computer, I can literally hop on my wife's Mac and start using it as my Mac. Very, very cool. So Dropbox and Google Drive. Google Drive is really cool too because it actually gives you access on the internet, which is very easy to share files and have multiple people update files. So I can be updating this file, making notes on this file, and my team can all see that, anyone that I share that with. Here's how both work. They both work very similarly. So you're going to open up your Google Drive folder and we're going to talk about folder organization in a second here. As you can see, I have my folders organized in a very specific way. But you're basically going to start dumping and saving all your files to these folders instead of saving them on your desktop, instead of saving them in your documents. It becomes a habit, and then if you save it in that folder, it's always up to date, it's always synced, and it's always backed up. It literally backs stuff up in a matter of a couple minutes depending on your internet connection. The cool thing about this is that once it's backed up, you can simply share a link, email a link to somebody. You can do this from the mobile app too. That way you can share art files with actually having to email those big art files, which just saves a lot of time, and it's very easy to do from your email client without actually having to attach files and so on and so forth. I'm going to shut up about Google Drive and Dropbox. I can only tell you that these things have saved my life. They're worth their weight in gold. Super, super awesome tools to use. Next, let's talk about the organization of your files. Now, finding a file and correctly organizing it, I think is super, super important because it really helps you be efficient and organized. If you're organized, you can find files much easier. You know where to put them. You know how to call them. If you're not, you're just a cluster and you don't know where things are at. You're constantly searching. What did I name this? What did I call this? Now, you do have a lot more search functionality on computers these days, but still, if you're not properly organized, it does make it harder. So what I do with my email client and my filing system is I organize them the exact same way. Right here, I'm using 4 main file folders. My admin folder, so anything having to do with admin of our business. legal stuff, corporate stuff, stock stuff, anything with HR, things that are admin related. Then we have all our client files, so all your customer files, all their art files are in there. Then I have my personal filing cabinet. So anything that I have to do with personal, anything with my health insurance or anything with my family pictures is all saved there. And then I have my team, so anything team related. And then I also include my vendors as part of our team as well. So these are our main filing cabinet. You can also, you don't have to do it the exact same way, but if you notice over here on my email client, it is organized very, very similarly. So here we have admin, CC box, which I'm going to talk about later, output, and another file folder that I actually use, personal, and then team over here. So basically I'm saving the same type of files over here as I'm saving over here. From there, it basically just breaks down to your different customers, to your different personal things, to your different team areas. So our marketing team, our sales team, from there it would break down more to specific clients underneath that. Now, if you really want to nerd out, I would actually create a common way to label things. So for instance, right here, we have our SOP file at Ryonet. So these are all of our SOPs. Well, actually not all of our SOPs. We store them on the cloud now, but these were all of our SOPs last year. Now, we're actually labeling these the same way. So SOP sales and then what the SOP is called. Then you can organize them by date. But very similar thing that you can do with your client's artwork. That way you always know how to search for, let's say, your art. So maybe it's always your client name first and the job name and then the date or something like that. So for instance, I go back to my drive over here and I check out the art files here. So this is always starts with Bear Art, High Desert Webinar, Proof, and then you can name the date or whatever. Whatever format you're going to use, if you keep it consistent, that way you can easily search for it and you don't even have to go through your filing cabinet. But always keeping it in that filing cabinet does make it much easier to do and find if you have to do it that way. Now let's talk about email and how to organize it, how to make sure that you control it so it does not control you. Now, I've definitely been a huge culprit of letting email control me in my life because email can definitely overwhelm you and can also, you can get stuck in it and be very unproductive. You think you're being productive, but at the end of the day, you're like, well, what did I do? Okay, well, I answered 200 emails, but what did I really get done? So first thing that I do with any of my email clients is turn them off. Very simple to do. I'm actually using Outlook for Mac right now. Instead of always turning my email on, I just take it offline if I want to get stuff done. You can even schedule this on some of the PC versions of Outlook, and then you can also do this with other email clients as well, but just taking them off, that still gives you access to the email. So if I want to see, Kathy's email from our safety meeting about what kind of videos that we need to make for safety, internal safety things around it, I could still have access to that email, but I don't have new emails constantly hitting me. Also, I always turn my volume off and all my sound notifications. So you don't see the new emails popping up on your computer screen over here. You don't hear dings, dings constantly throughout the day. Minimize the distraction of your email as much as possible. Next, we already talked about the filing system there, but also a quick way to file. So a lot of people will sit there and literally drag things over to customers and do one thing at a time. Email has a lot of super easy hotkeys. So for instance, if I want to file this email from Jim in my client box or my customer box, I simply hit Control Shift or Command Shift M and just type in customers and hit enter. Just like that, it's filed. So it's super, super simple. If you do something too fast and you want to back it up, you just hit Command Z and back it up. Now, those are Mac hotkeys. There are very similar PC hotkeys that you can use as well. But the thing is figuring out your email hotkeys so you can very easily file those emails without having to sit there and drag and drop. Next thing I'm going to show you is my CC box. Now, these are some email rules that I've set up that help me actually file my emails before they hit. Very simple way to create rules in Outlook. I believe the Mac applications and other email applications also have rules. So basically just go to create a rule, and I'm going to show you my CC rule, which is one of my favorite ones. So essentially, all I'm going to do is if the email is sent to a CC of me, I'm going to move it to my CC box. That means if it's not super important, if I'm not in the to line, I'm in the CC line, I'm actually not going to see it right away until I go check that box. saved that rule. All right, there we have it. And it's in my CC box. So the thing that you have to be a little careful about that is if you have a lot of people that are used to CCing you on important information, that you want to make sure they let them know that, hey, if you want me to read this email right away, definitely send it to me. If you're CCing me, it's more of an FYI in my book, and I don't read those right away. They're not quite as important in my email categorization. So 2 simple ways to kind of categorize your emails. Also, your junk email drawer is very powerful. Make sure you keep those junk emails updated. That way you're sending the right emails to junk. And also you can, categorize things. Anything comes from a certain vendor, it goes in there. Any tracking that comes from UPS, you can go directly into a UPS tracking folder. Super simple to make those rules, and they're very, very efficient. The less emails that you see, the less you'll get distracted. So these are ways that you keep those emails to a minimum. So 4 simple things to manage your email so it doesn't manage you. 1 is organize it. 2nd is turn it off every once in a while, so take it offline so you can actually get some real work done. 3rd is create rules like the CC box that automatically sends certain emails to certain boxes so you don't have to see them. They don't have to clutter up your inbox. And 4th is learning the hotkeys so you can properly categorize your emails and quickly file and move them around. So now it's up to you to learn, research more of these solutions, and try them out. Remember, sync it. Use Google Drive, Dropbox, or both, or find another syncing tool. There are other ones out there. Organize it. Keep it consistent. Consistency is key here. You don't have to do it the way I did it, but just do it consistently and keep it organized. Also share it with your team and then control it. Make sure that your information is not controlling you. If you do these things, you don't have to lose it, you don't waste it, and you won't stress it as much. Thanks for listening, and good luck.